shey na like this we go dey sang popular Nigerian artist Wande Cole. Government alone can't do everything, and that's why we say on Politico Politica that politics is for everyone. My name is Isabella Akinseye, and the show starts now.
Politico Politica with Isabella Akinseye.
Today on Politico Politica, we look at civic participation. When we say politics is for everyone, play a part, what does it mean as young people? Is it okay for us to just go on social media and make our views count? Or do we have to get our hands dirty, get in the trenches and engage with the grassroots? To discuss civic participation and his political plans, I have with me an area boy politician. Our guest for today is an entrepreneur, activist, political enthusiast, and a poster child for the Not Too Young to Run movement. At the age of 33, he was the youngest local government chairman in 2004 when he was first elected as the chairman of Amuwo Odofin local government area of Lagos State. His tenure as chairman saw the introduction of many laudable projects in education, environment, and health sectors in the community. Little wonder he was re-elected as chairman. He is a graduate of chemistry from the Lagos State University, former student union government president of the same university, and a former public relations officer of the Nigerian Association of Nigerian Students, NANS. He is the managing director of Hosbok Links and Development. He is currently the APC candidate for the Federal House of Representatives representing Amuwo Odofin constituency. He is Comrade Ayodele Adewale. Comrade, welcome to Politico Politica.
Thank you for having me.
So today's topic is civic participation. What does civic participation really mean?
Well, it's about people taking ownership of their basic livelihood, be it political, be it social, be it security, communal, at all. It's all about people working harmoniously for a common good.
So let's look at your journey into civic participation. You were very active in the university. I mean, you fought for democracy, so to say. What made you really get involved at such an early age?
Well, I would say it was more of a scientific saying that necessity is the mother of invention. I have a friend in the UK, his name is Comrade Ayodele Adewale. He was studying physics. Now, a year before, Kayode would always come to the house, give me narrative of what was happening in school, how the military will come tear gas them in school, how a certain president of the union, they call him Bruno, Wale Arigbabu, was incarcerated and they were going to court. A year after I got into LASU, so he came to the laboratory. I remember I was on my lab coat. We were in the lab, carrying our practicals in 100 level, and he asked me to follow him to the parliament. So I followed him, and I entered, and he enlisted me. I remember Mr. Sarumi, Yemi Sarumi was speaker then. So SOB was addressing like a son. And I said, point of order, Mr. Speaker. And I said, order what? And I read the point of order from the standing row. And I told SOB to sit down. Like, who had the effrontery? Because whenever SOB speak, it's like Lord Denning speaking. He was such an orator. So you now look back at who had the effrontery to tell him to sit down. And mind you, I came into LASU not as a very young person. I stayed some time at home. So looking at them, for me, they were like contemporaries, but SOB was older. So he looked at me and he caught interest. Then this day I was on campus again. I just saw students under the tree protesting. And I saw one man addressing them under the tree. And behold, it was Gani Fawemi.
Wow.
Then suddenly the police came and started shooting tear gas. So I was taking photographs and all of that. We went to the parliament. We had the procession and we were expelled. That was my turning point. We didn't have enough science equipment. And while I was in St. Gregory's, you know, it was one student through a whole lot of science equipment. But this is a university where you have about 7-10 students to one pipette and 3 test tubes and perhaps 2 chronicle flags. So for me it was strange. And there are no stools So you have to sit down on broken furnitures. The waters weren't running, and the reagents were not in abundance. For me, it was, what's this?
So you say your disgust and anger.
I was angry. So
but the expulsion from school.
It's compounded now. We now carried out a protest. And the then Vice Chancellor, God bless his soul, Professor Akinseye, was now coming to cow us down. Everybody ran. I was the only one that faced him. And to my amazement, the second day, they ordered everything.
Everything.
They now deploy carpenters to come in and fix the lab, fix this, fix that. So I became a hero in the department.
But then what happened to the expulsion?
The expulsion, I was not the only one that was expelled. The whole member of the parliament, about 100 plus, were expelled. The reason was that we went on procession with our academic gown, challenging the state government then. You know, I think Buba Marwa was the governor of Lagos State then, and challenging Abacha. Then they published our names and expelled us. We refused. We locked up the gates. We continued our protest. Either on the fifth day, the protest was 5 days. On the fifth day, a new bulletin came out that we were reinstated. Ever since then, we didn't go back. And I became an activist.
And now what will you say, several years later, about the level of activism and civic participation in Nigeria?
There's a sharp difference. Activism in the military era was more of a collective resolve that is not propelled by materialistic inducement. How do I mean? People will wonder, even the policemen, the army, were always telling us that, what is pushing you people? You know, you see students moving and you see military checkpoints. The next thing you start doing is, ole, 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 go away, go away, go away. And they will crack their guns. Then I become president of LASU in my 200 level. They felt we were bribed, but we were not. The only thing that moved us was, one, we would discuss about issues, particularly at the student platform. We will discuss about state of the union, we will discuss about state of the campus and state of the nation. We had linkage with ASU and we had linkage with NLC. Now, after all of this discussion, the only thing that motivates us were the songs that we sang. And that at the end of the day, we took pictures with some of our heroes, like Dr. Beko, Chief Gani Fawemi, Tai Sholari, and the rest. Those were people that were looking up to Professor Wale Soyinka because people were now fighting in the same manner they were fighting the military. And in the military, we could throw bonfire, we could do so many things. But in a civilian administration, we ought to dialogue them more because we found no reason why we should dialogue with the military because we have dialogue in the past. It has broken down, they've lied to us, particularly the process towards handing over power from 1989 to 1992, 91 to 93, then all the way down like that until we got it in 1999.
So would you say dialogue, that social media, the internet,
yes,
and even the media in general is a good place for civic participation?
Definitely,
to happen?
it is a good place and a broader frontier. Because in our time, if I needed to talk to somebody in Sokoto, I will have to travel from Lagos to Sokoto. Mind you, I don't speak the language. I don't have the money. What we do then is that we work with NURTW. So we went through a lot. So it afforded us an opportunity of meeting people from different states that are now relevant to us.
Now we want to hear from you. Go online, tweet at PP with Isabella, use the hashtag Politico Politica, and make your view count on our topic of the day, civic participation. You can also drop comments on Instagram and Facebook. The handle is Politico Politica. The show returns very shortly. Stay with us.